Hey everybody, welcome to FREEWrite Friday. This is actually my first FREEWrite Friday back in 2022. So welcome. We're going to kind of pick up where we left off back in 2021, a long time ago. And for those of you who don't know me or watching this back on YouTube, my name is Jessica Lynn Johnson. I am the founder and CEO of Soaring Solo Studios, which is a company dedicated to the direction and development of one-person plays. Let's see, I get to work with artists all over the world, internationally, Africa, Mexico, Canada, all over the US. So that is my honor, helping people tell their stories from stage and also virtually these days. I've been in this field for over 20 years. I have 2 solo shows myself that were toured and award-winning and all of that, and currently writing my 3rd solo show and also a book about how to write solo theater. I'm on the advisory board for the LA Women's Theater Festival, and I also write a blog for NoHo Arts called Soaring Solo. So you can look that up. It has a bunch of tips for solo artists. So that's on NoHo Arts. So that's a little bit about me. I'd love to know more about you and where you're at in your solo theater journey. So please feel free to write in the chat kind of where you're at in your process. And you know, where in the world you're tuning in from. And obviously, if you have a solo show coming up that you want to promote, or a reading of a solo show, Kamakshi, please feel free to put that in the chat as well. And I see Barbara on here, who I know has a show coming up in Solo Fest. So yeah, give your shout outs to yourself. Let people know what's going on with your solo shows. We are a big community who likes to support one another. So put that in the chat. And the mission of FREEWrite Friday is really just to gather together in creative, supportive community and look at structure and look at character development and look at formatting. And it's more heady experience than some of my other offerings, but this is really to help you get into that script and develop content with support. So the next FREEWrite Friday, if you want to go ahead and mark your calendars, is going to be a week from today. So it's Friday, January 28th, 10 a.m. Pacific time, noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Just sign up the same way you did today at soaringSoloStudios.com under FREEWrite Friday. A little bit of housekeeping. If you're going to be doing anything that might be distracting, go ahead and turn your camera off. Otherwise, feel free to keep them on. Make sure you have something nearby you to write with and write on, because we are going to be writing. Or if you prefer, sometimes people like to just audio record themselves and transcribe it later and kind of improvise. That works too. You know, whatever is going to help you capture your thoughts today the best. And essentially how it works is I'll just start with a talking point, kind of a lesson, and then you will get to write for about 8 minutes. This isn't a space where we share the work that we've written. It's not really Q&A space. That's more for my free class or my private coaching. So just bear that in mind. And it also lets you know that whatever you write is private. You're not going to be sharing it in this space. So let yourself be very uncensored today. And if you do have any questions about any of this, feel free to email me at soaringsoloartist@gmail.com. Okay, so for the past several months, we've been looking at Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey and its application to the journey of the solo artist. And each of these sessions hopefully can stand on their own. So I want you to be able to watch a FREEWrite Friday episode and get a good piece of writing done, no matter if you've watched the other episodes or not. So today we are pretty deep into the hero's journey structure, but that's okay. It can still elicit memories for you if this is your first time joining us. And we're going to be looking at the road back. So Joseph Campbell calls this the road back. It's about 10 steps into the hero's journey or thereabouts. And to simplify it, I would just say it's really that point in the story when the hero has gotten through a lot of obstacles, has gotten through a lot of challenging circumstances, maybe has met several mentors, enemies, friends, all of that, very far in the journey, can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but isn't quite there yet. So again, we're on the road back to home, but we're not quite there yet. So how this would apply tangibly in your solo script, or to get you thinking about it in that way. I will give some examples from some solo shows within our community and liken it to the road back. So for instance, Heather Keller, she's a wonderful solo artist in our community, award-winning, internationally toured, all of that. Her show Chemo Barbie, explores Heather's journey with cancer. And, so spoiler alert, by the end of the show, she's cancer free, and she's gone through chemo and all of these other really challenging circumstances. Yet, even though she is quite far along in the journey, she can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but she's not quite there yet, in the sense of now she's having to, to determine which medication she's going to go on so that she stays cancer free. And that brings up complications in terms of getting pregnant, and how is she going to have a family? Is she going to adopt? Is she going to try and have natural pregnancy, in which case she has to again think about all these medications she's putting into her body. So again, we're further along than where we started in the beginning of the show, but we're not quite there at the end point, at our denouement, at our resolution. We're not there yet. So that's one example. Another example would be for those of you who have seen Naturally Tan by Tanya Thomas, another really brilliant solo artist. A lot of the show, she's battling self-love. She's battling a voice in her head that we characterized as dysmorphina, who represents body dysmorphia, where it's constantly telling her negative things about the size and shape of her body, the color of her skin, all those sorts of things. And she's battling that as one of the characters throughout the show. And toward the end of the show, she's really gotten to the other side of that in many ways. And she is stepping into self-love and self-acceptance. But then she becomes a mom, and she starts to see that her daughter is facing this demon of dysmorphina, this negative voice. And so kind of new challenges are starting to arise. But again, she's much further on her journey than where she began. So those are a couple of examples. So now I want you to think of your application, the application of this to your own life, or if you're not writing about your own life in your solo show, then whoever your hero or heroine of your solo show is. Where is it in their journey that feels like the road back? So maybe you finally had a really difficult conversation with your boss at work, and it's great, you finally got it all out there, but now you're maybe dealing with a promotion and you have new responsibilities, or now you've ruffled the feathers of some colleagues or coworkers or something like that. So we're past the big bulk of the journey, but we still have these smaller battles that we have to fight. Maybe you, as an actor, were pursuing a certain agent or something like that, and you finally got them to sign you, but now you're going into the audition room and you have to prove yourself to the casting director or the writers or the producers in the room. Maybe you finally revealed to your significant other that you're not happy in the relationship and you want to break up and go in another direction, and that happens, but now you're single again, and you're back in the dating world, or facing the pain of a breakup, or whatever it might be. So these are just some ways that you can look at your own life and start to think about, what does that road back look like for you, where you're further along than where you started, but you're not quite there, you're not quite past the finish line yet. So with that in mind, I'm going to set my timer for about 8 minutes. And I just want you to write about whatever came up for you as I was talking about these things. This is not about getting it right. It's just about getting out whatever came up, whatever memories are coming up for you, whatever ideas are coming up for you. And whether it ends up being the road back or not in your story, that doesn't matter, as long as it, inspired something to write about. We just want to make progress on our scripts. Okay, so I'm going to set my timer for 8 minutes, and I will let you know when your time is up. Happy writing. A little over a minute left, a little over a minute. Okay, please go ahead and wrap up your writing. Hopefully you got something meaningful and insightful out of that. And if you were recording yourself, then I encourage you to transcribe it into a document on your computer so you start to really build out your script. Okay, so you'll see in the chat, I put some announcements. As always, we have a lot of exciting things happening in the Soaring Solo community. So beginning with tomorrow is my free class, The Art of Creating the One-Person Play. That is happening tomorrow, Saturday, January 22nd, 10 a.m. Pacific, noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Just RSVP at soaringSoloStudios.com. It is 100% awesome and 100% free. So you don't have to bring anything to class on Zoom, just show up and I will always lead you through a writing prompt of some sort and we'll get some writing done. And if you do have an excerpt that you want to share and get some feedback on, I see as many people toward the end of class as I can so that you can kind of get some feedback on your work. Also, Hollywood Fringe is right around the corner. I know June feels very far away, but it's really not. And so if you're interested in doing the Hollywood Fringe Festival, whether you're local to Los Angeles or not, the Soaring Solo community will definitely be doing several shows in the festival this summer. And if you want to talk about what that might look like for you to participate in Fringe, again, just email me at soaringsoloartist@gmail.com and we can talk about those particulars. And we are available for coaching, Heather and myself, if you want some guidance on how to pursue the Hollywood Fringe Festival or any other goals you have in mind. Also, Revealed, which is the virtual reading series that I've been doing since the fall of 2021. We are still going strong through the spring of 2022. And what Revealed is just a virtual platform for artists to share their solo scripts as works in progress. So if you're looking for a stake to put in the ground with your work, you want to get some feedback on your solo show, email me at soaringsoloartist@gmail.com to talk about how you might participate in Revealed. And a good way to see what it's all about is to tune into other episodes of Revealed and see how other artists are experiencing this event. So tomorrow, Kamakshi Hart is, I think I spelled her name like actual heart, but it's H-A-R-T is Kamakshi's last name. Sorry for the misspelling. That is happening tomorrow. It's called Resilient AF. This is Kamakshi's third solo show. So you definitely want to learn from this incredible woman. And she's on the call today, which is awesome. So feel free to put the details in the chat, Kamakshi. But that's happening at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And you can find it on soaringSoloStudios.com under events, upcoming solo shows, and also it should be under the readings tab as well. So it's by donation. You can just donate whatever you can to tune into the reading, and you'll hear her reading the script aloud. And then we're going to have a robust conversation and Q&A afterwards where we want to hear your thoughts. We want to see what's resonating with you, or maybe points of confusion, creative ideas you might have. So it's a great community event, and it will also give you an idea of what it might look like for you to do a virtual reading of your own work. Also, I do an event, or I did an event called Isolate, Meditate, Create, all throughout the pandemic, where at first it was every morning, and then it was every Wednesday morning. I was guiding artists through meditations, and then we would write together. So this is a great tool to use to get you out of your critic brain, get you out of a loud mind, and write your solo script and be led through visualizations and things like that. So again, it was called Isolate, Meditate, Create. All 120 episodes are on my YouTube channel. So if you would like to try that experience and see what kind of material comes up for you, I encourage you to find that on YouTube. So just go to YouTube and look up Jessica Lynn Johnson, Soaring Solo LLC, and you will find me and all 100+ videos. And like I said at the top of the call, the next FREEWrite Friday is happening on Friday, January 28th, a week from today, at 10 a.m. Pacific, noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. RSVP the same way you did today. And if you missed any of the FREEWrite Friday episodes, those are all on my YouTube channel as well. So you can go back and catch up and get some writing done. And then Sunday is Diana Varco's 5th anniversary of her one-woman show. It's her award-winning, internationally toured, rave-reviewed solo show, Shattered. She's doing that as part of the Orlando Digital Fringe. So that is happening again on Sunday. Details are on my website under upcoming events, upcoming solo shows. And you can watch it from the comfort of your own home. And then Diana and I are going to hop on a Zoom after that's over with all of you if you'd like to have a Q&A discussion afterwards and ask her whatever questions you have about the creative process, or me as the director. We'd love to talk to you about the process. So that's a great learning experience and community event too, to get you more involved in what's happening with Soaring Solo. So I think that's everything. I guess I'll just leave it with Solo Fest is happening right now at the Whitefire Theater. So there's lots of solo shows happening there in person and digitally. So if you are trying to be a solo artist, please go see solo theater or watch the replays from your own home, but see solo shows. That's the best teacher that there is, because you will see what you like, you will see what you don't like, and you'll just get more involved with community. So when it's time for you to do your solo show, you will have that support system and community around you supporting you. Okay, well, that's everything. I will leave the chat up for a little bit so you can jot down any of the announcements, but I'm going to hop off. Please have a beautiful weekend, and thank you all so much for joining me. Bye, everyone.